Hey guys, it's Savannah. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be everyday home decor DIYs. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so for this first DIY, I'm taking this, I guess, beer jug. I don't know if it's a beer jug, medicine bottle. I got this from Goodwill, and I think I tried to show the sticker at the bottom, but I couldn't remember what it said. I think it was $2.25. And I am pulling inspiration from a Kirkland piece, and I'm going to do mine a little bit different, but I will insert that right here. Okay, so this is the piece that I saw that I absolutely loved. Mine is obviously going to be a little bit different, but Kirkland's has this for sale for $42. Yeah. So I just start out by taking my paintbrush and some Waverly white chalk paint, and I just give this a good coat, making sure that the middle is covered more than like the tops and the bottom, because you can see in that photo we do something different there. But just make sure that you get it as good as you want, or, you know what I mean. And I feel like I see these jugs every time I go to thrift stores, so these are super easy to find. So once that was dry, I'm taking the color Elephant and I'm dumping this onto a plate, and I am then taking baking soda and I'm dumping this into the paint and mixing this up. Now, I've seen a few people do this, and I was super kind of excited to try this because I want this piece to look like a pottery piece. Like, I went out in my backyard, not in my backyard because we don't have red clay here, but you know what I mean, and put this on a pottery wheel and made it. So once I got a good texture, you kind of saw what I did. I just mixed that around. I started with a sponge first to try to get that ombre look, and it just was not working for me. So I do end up taking a Dollar Tree paintbrush, and just, you can see kind of what I'm doing here. I'm literally dipping it into the paint and dabbing it onto this jar, not going below that little bevel. Just, if I do go below the bevel, just a little bit. And I just continue this technique for a minute, just building up the paint and that texture. Then once I got the hang of it, I kind of flipped it over and did the bottom. I'm sorry you can't see this part. I didn't know that it was out of the camera, but you will see me do something else to the bottom in a second, and it'll be a little bit easier to see. You can kind of see what I did there. I didn't go up as far as I did on the top, so I wanted that to be minimal. And then I'm going back over the top again, just building that texture and getting it to a point where I like how it looks. Now, I was going to leave it with the gray, but I wanted to add almost like a brown color in it. And I, again, started out with that sponge and didn't like it. So I'm kind of trying to rub off what I just did there. And then I go in with that same paintbrush that still has a little bit of the gray on there, and taking my antique Waverly wax, and I'm just doing the same technique. And just going around, building up the texture, building up the color until I get it how I like it. Well, I thought I showed the bottom part, but I did the same thing on the bottom. And you guys, I love this. For $3, I just made something that inspired me that was $40, and I love how this turned out. Hey guys, I hope that you're enjoying today's video so far. It is also a collaboration with Daniela over at Danielita AF. I absolutely adore her, you guys. She loves to do crafting with a cocktail, which I think is so cool. In each video she makes a different cocktail and you never know what it's going to be, which I think is so fun. And she's also amazing at her DIYs. Her and I have come pretty close over the past couple months and she is such a genuine person. I'm super excited to be doing this video with her today. So the link to her video is going to be in my description box. Go over there, show her some love, tell her that I sent you. And if you're coming from Daniela's page, welcome. I'm Savannah, and let's get back into crafting. Moving on to our second DIY, I'm taking 3 of these Dollar Tree houses, and you guys, I know I need a heat gun, but I honestly don't think about it until I'm removing the stickers. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need that. And I know I can use a hairdryer, but gosh, that's just too much effort. I got to go find one. So once I got the stickers off as much as I could, I sanded them down, and I'm giving 2 of these houses a coat of white Waverly chalk paint, and then I will tell you what I do with the other one. I did the bigger one, and then I did the longer skinny one in white. Now for this one, we're going to start out with some black apple barrel paint, and we're going to give this house a good coat. Make sure you're covering the sides and the edges so that it all looks evenly. And it's okay if you don't get full coverage on the sides, because I still wanted that little rustic farmhouse look. But for the front, I did want a good black coat. And then I am pouring some black paint on this plate, and then I'm adding some more baking soda. So again, just you want to get like a thick, chunky consistency. This is my first time doing it, so I don't even know if I've done this right. But I was just going for a thick, kind of chunky paint, if that makes sense. Then I took my paintbrush and I just started dabbing that paint on the front of the house. Once that first coat was dry, I then wanted to add the baking soda coat on top of it. And you guys, this turned out so cool. I cannot wait to show you guys this. I show you a close-up before I show you the finished product. And I love this. Definitely will be working with paint and baking soda a little bit more. And then just set that to the side to dry. And then I'm going back to the first 2 houses and I'm sanding down the edges, making some of that wood come through and make it look a little rustic. Then I printed off our last name on my Cricut. I just measured the house on like my Cricut measuring sheet. Again, still working on the lingo. And then I put it on some transfer tape, and then I added this to the house. You guys, I don't know if it's the transfer tape or what I'm doing wrong, but I really struggled with this. And then I did Established in 2017. That's when me and my husband were married. So I added that in a different font and then pulled that up. Once those were on, because I did struggle with this, I Mod Podged over the letters just to make sure that they weren't going to go anywhere. And then I just sanded them down lightly to make so they weren't such harsh wording. And then I did end up dry brushing over them just a little bit to add a little bit more, rustic kind of distressed vibe. Now for the other one that we painted white, I printed out 5 on my Cricut because I have 3 kids and me and my husband, that equals 5. You didn't know you're going to learn math today, did you? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I just added that to there. And you guys, if you don't have a Cricut, I went without a Cricut for a long time. There are so many other options. Dollar Tree has numbers. They have letters. So you could definitely do this not using a Cricut. Again, I just sanded over that 5. And look, you guys, here's the texture of that house. I am obsessed. And this is how all 3 of them turned out. I love them. So let me know which one is your favorite. Moving on to our third DIY. Why am I singing so much? I don't know. Okay. This I just had, I bought this a while ago, but Dollar Tree does have these little square things. You guys have seen me use them. And I start off by giving this a good coat of Waverly white chalk paint and making sure that I covered the middle the most because there was words and stuff there. And then I do go on the sides as well. Once that was dry, I just start sanding down the edges, the face of the sign, not too much because again, there were words under there and you don't want those to come through, but just sanding it down until I got it kind of how I liked it. And yet again, I printed something off on my Cricut, and I did struggle with this as well because, oh my gosh, I'm just learning. But I wanted to use this as a stencil, so I weeded out all of the letters, and then I put it on the front of the sign. And then I'm just making sure it's straight, and if it's not straight, it's too late. But I had some more of that paint left over from the gray, and I thought that would be really pretty to use. So I am taking a sponge. Thank you guys so much for that tip. If you guys see me do something and you think or you know there's a better way to do it, tell me, because I'm always looking to learn new things. So this stencil, the smaller parts and like the P and the E, those didn't transfer. So I'm just going back in and putting those in as good as I can. And then again, I'm taking that sponge and I'm just dabbing into the letters. And then I do end up going in and adding a little bit of that black because it was still on the plate. And yeah. Then I remove the vinyl and then I go in and weed out the letters and stuff that was stuck and the ones that I had to like add back in there because they didn't transfer well. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. And then I just kind of dry brushed over it with some that same brush that I used to distress the bottle with. And then I sanded that down if I felt like it was too harsh. And I think this is just such an accurate saying for what's going on in the world and then what's going on in my house, okay? So I thought this was so cute. I saw this saying somewhere and I was like, I definitely want to recreate that. But then I'm just going in and sanding down the sides, making sure everything looks smooth and it all flows together. And again, you guys, you can do this how you want. You guys know I always say that. Then I felt like it was missing something, so I wanted to add a bow. And I'm taking this burlap ribbon, this kind of farmhouse ribbon. All these are from Dollar Tree. And then this blue ribbon, which I thought was so pretty. I found this the other day, and I love it. And then, of course, you guys know I'm adding some raffia to my expo. And I twine those together, hold it pretty tight, and then I take some jute and I cinch this bow so it all comes together. And then I just hot glue it kind of catty-cornered on the side of this sign. And then if you're new here, you guys, I love Dollar Tree buttons. And so I picked out like this kind of navy blue one that kind of went with that I don't know, vintage kind of ribbon, and I glued that in the middle to bring it all together, fluff my raffia out, split it, and that is it. I love how this turned out. I think it's so cute. Let me know what you guys think of today's video. Go check Daniela out, and as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.